students go to Stanford with their own objectives, and so I'll give this answer from my own perspective and what I have understood about Stanford and how Stanford could help, right? So three most important things, I think. I mean, and there are lots more. I would probably miss mentioning them, but three most important to me were that first, it gives you access to this unparalleled ecosystem that I have been talking about. So whether you have to test a product idea, or whether you are going to hire or scale your business or raise money, etc., the access Stanford gives, I mean, all the professors there or alums, Stanford alums, are extremely benevolent with their time. So you could discuss at length the way you are thinking about your company or your product or the problem that you want to solve. And you will get great support from them in terms of refining your thinking, right? That itself is a huge, huge support. And not only alums and professors, even the entrepreneurs that are there in the Bay Area, I felt this feeling that they have a genuine interest in helping others and helping other entrepreneurs, right? So, and the power of your at stanford.edu email address is something that you now realize once you get out of it. With that at stanford.edu email, you write an email to anyone in the world, anyone in the US, any CEO, any entrepreneur, and I can guarantee a 95% plus response rate, right? Like the people want to spend that time. So, and it has actually, pandemic has also helped in a way, because then I could have these short one-on-one Zoom calls with so many CEOs and alums, and they helped me refine my thinking. So that's one. So be a part of that ecosystem. It's unparalleled. It's something that would really help aspiring entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
The second aspect I think about Stanford and for aspiring entrepreneurs is the ability to choose your co-founders within Stanford. So Stanford again has all the school in one whole like campus, right? So you'll be interacting with School of Engineering, Medicine, Law, whatever, and students in them. So, and there are, Stanford creates all of these mixer events all pretty much every single week. So you could pitch your ideas, etc., to them and find like-minded people to start your own company. That's very, very important. Stanford also has this VC pitch nights and other nights where very influential VCs would come, and then student teams would be pitching their ideas. So it just puts you into that groove very early on, and that's another special aspect about Stanford. The third thing I think about Stanford is it gives you the ability to try your product while you are studying, your product or product idea while you're studying. So there are courses in GSB and even in School of Engineering. So whether it is Startup Garage or Lean Launchpad or Launchpad, where for an academic credit, you would be actually working on your startup, like actually working on your startup, right? So you'll be building your product, testing it, and that's the course that you're doing. So one, you do it in a very structured way to make less mistakes, etc., and you're very focused. And at the worst, even if your product idea fails, you get an academic credit for it. So, so it really puts you into this whole groove of trying things early on. The minute you step into the campus and enroll for those courses, you are in the groove of building something new, and that's very, very important. That was very, very important for me. So those were my top three takes about Stanford and how it can help aspiring entrepreneurs. I think the uncertainty that you're talking about has two aspects to it, right? So one is the economic uncertainty, like there will be lesser jobs, slower start to career, lesser opportunities, etc. And then there is this uncertainty about changed experience due to pandemic itself, the learning experience, right? And one will have to decide, at least if I were in your shoes or in students' shoes, I would decide basis these two aspects, right? What is the economic uncertainty and what is the learning experience uncertainty or change. So as far as economic uncertainty goes, because this is a pandemic induced one, it won't last very long, certainly not for 2 years, right? So we will see recovery happening in next few months. When the vaccine comes out, definitely it will get accelerated. So by the time current students or aspiring students pass out, I think mostly we would be in a good economic environment, mostly, or just getting into a good economic environment, or better, or recovering economic environment. And so you will have opportunities coming back, then you will have pay scales coming back, etc. Also, the risk taking ability will then increase suddenly, you'll see. However, for international students, one should realize that if you are aspiring to work in the United States, the changes in immigration law because of pandemic will take little. It's a political issue, right? So it will take little more time to kind of ease up. So one needs to evaluate that decision from a perspective whether you will be allowed, or it will be easy enough for you as it used to be in the past to graduate out of Stanford or any of these good schools and start a career in the US. So that's something that one will have to. And because these immigration laws are country specific, India, China is at the at a disadvantage here. So one needs to think about that as well. But the more important aspect I think students should think about is the learning experience change due to pandemic, right? I hear, and Stanford is not one of them, but I hear many good B schools are still 100% online or consider a significant portion of experience to be online. And the online experience is good because during the last quarter, I was our batch was the first batch to get to online experience for last 3 months without any backup plans for how to conduct a good online sessions. And even then, Stanford managed it pretty well. And I'm sure that they would have, by leaps and bounds increased the experience online. But I still think online experience is not the best experience these schools are positioned to give. They can give much better experience if you meet offline. Meeting with professors or students in person has its own value. And so I would ask students to consider that and research about the schools that they are applying to in terms of change that this pandemic has brought to the whole methodology of experience or learning experience in those schools. And if it is mostly online, I would not take it. That's how I would approach to the situation. I'm not prescribing anything here, and I'm sure that many schools have kind of bettered that experience, but still, that's my take on it. This one is a particularly difficult question. I'll tell you why. Because the counterfactual will never be known, right? So, for example, if you do graduate out of Stanford and you earn X, you could always debate that I could have earned X minus something or X plus something, even if I had gone or not gone to Stanford. And that counterfactual is something that it's a viewpoint. I mean, it's a counterfactual. So you don't know how would life had panned out had you not gone there or gone there, whatever. Graduate students passing out from these colleges, Stanford, Wharton, Harvard, whatever, um, earn significantly higher than others. That's also a fact. And there are exceptions on both sides. There are, college dropouts who are billionaires, and then there are also students who have not really made the mark. One would expect them to, right? So that is something that one needs to understand. But I'll tell you something about these kind of investments. These kind of investments, and when you're investing into higher education, paying about 150 $200,000, it's not small money. Certainly not when you convert it into Indian rupees. These are long-term investment. Think about it as buying a flat in Bangalore that will cost you approximately similar amount of money, right? Do not view the return immediately with the first job offer, or the first 2 years after the campus. Because forget about the economic return, the change and the transformation in the thinking process that these colleges bring in, that itself is worth the return. You become a part of this unique and very special network, and many opportunities, either immediately or later in life, would open up because you're a part of that network. That itself will change the return parameter, and the investment. You'll be able to justify the investment for the return. So I would say it's definitely worth the return, even if in an economic environment that we are in today, you do not probably get the best return in terms of job offers or uh, ability to continue your career in the United States. That those things will open up for you sometime later, and this experience will give you access to some of those opportunities that you would not otherwise easily get. So I would say yes, it is worth the return.